Hi, this is Chris with Chris Talks About the Wisdom of Women. And today we have wise words from Cathy Derksen. Cathy is the passionate founder of Inspired Tenacity, an international speaker, publisher, and 24 times number one best-selling author. After reimagining her own life in her 50s, Cathy discovered her mission to help midlife women embrace new possibilities and boldly share their stories. She believes that authorship and community are the keys to true impact, both for the storyteller and the lives they touch. And welcome, Cathy. It's so great to have you here today.
Yes. And I'm sitting where I don't normally sit, and my cat has discovered that she can get up here, and she is now very excited that I'm sitting here with her. So I'm doing my best. She's pushing my laptop around.
You know, I swear that cats know when you're on screen, and they're like, I want to be a part of it too.
Yes, and she used to do this a lot, and then I got a stand-up desk, so she wasn't able to get in front.
Oh.
But now I'm sitting at the dining room table, and so she's like, I can do this.
Yeah. Boy, they have a real instinct for that. They sure do.
Yes, she does.
Okay, well, let's get started with my questions for today. And that's, what challenges have you faced as a female founder and entrepreneur?
Yes, and I stepped into the world of entrepreneurship. Actually, this year is 5 years since I left my corporate job and stepped into this whole unknown of being an entrepreneur. And there definitely were challenges, that I didn't know before, because that's one of the things about being an entrepreneur. Until you're in the middle of it, you don't really understand what it's all about, what it takes, and all the learning and the connections and everything else. And I would say definitely the main challenge I've found as a female entrepreneur is the area around funding. And the idea that, that we definitely have to go above and beyond to prove that we are worthy of funding or the opportunities. And I would say over the last couple of years, there's been more things come up that are specific to women in funding, which has been great. One of my challenges with that is that they're very usually set into very specific industry categories. But the work that I do doesn't really fit into any normal category. So whenever people ask me that, there's what category are you in? Or like, fill in this form, and it requires a category. And it's like, well, none of them really fit what I do. So I've kind of resigned myself to the idea that my business doesn't really qualify for most funding.
Oh, yeah, I can see that, because I think that goes for many more creative-oriented businesses. It's like,
Yes.
we don't fit in the little usual business box, and it's like,
Yeah.
what are we supposed to do?
Yes.
So
Exactly.
you did find funding first. Did you find some funding?
I had one small grant. It was a government initiative to help people get digital marketing set up.
Oh.
So I did find one of those that I qualified for.
Mm-hmm.
The catch with that one, though, is you had to pay it yourself first, and then they reimbursed you, which is very nice. But the idea is that I need extra help to get more funding to do these things I want to do. If I've already got the cash in the bank, then it's nice for you to reimburse me, but it's not helping with the actual problem right now.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be, yeah. It's like, yeah. Well, yeah, I've almost thought, it's like, well, what would it be like to set up a venture capital. I wonder what it takes to set up a venture capital firm that emphasizes women.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And I think there are a few groups now that are starting to do that. And there are some angel funders that are working specifically with women, and there are some organizations who are being built by women for women, and so focusing on women both as the investors as well as the receivers of the investment. So
Yeah.
it's happening.
It's But you haven't worked with any of them yet, or?
No, I haven't. And in general, too, I have found that same problem with a lot of their applications, too. That it's, here's the list of industries, where do you fit in? And if you don't fit, so that's definitely a conversation I think we need to have with some of them around, yes, what about us, those of us that don't fit in those little boxes?
Yeah. Boy, I know that feeling, yeah.
My whole life, I just don't fit in the box.
Yeah. 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 So we need venture capital for people who don't fit in the box.
That's right.
Well, and you've written so many books, and a lot of it has to do with female leadership. And some of the books are behind you, I see.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, wow. Nice. And what have you found is the impact of female leadership, and how can we catalyze more female leaders, better community?
Yes, all of my books are multi-author books. So basically I create themes and titles, and then I bring women together from all over the world that each write one chapter based on the theme of the book. And one of my books was called Grit and Tenacity, Women Transforming Leadership in Business and Community. I've had another one based on women in STEM. That one was called Women Catalyzing, or The Evolution of Leadership in STEM, Women Catalyzing Change. So those are a couple of the ones that I've done. And like I said, they're groups of women from all over the world that are contributing their stories and their words of wisdom in these books. And I've definitely found that I think one of the big shifts that has started to happen and is still in motion is that understanding that in general, I would say women lead differently. So those old models of masculine leadership, for decades, women who were in leadership felt they had to fit into, again, that box of how it's supposed to be done. And in most cases, it really left them feeling frustrated, like they were not in alignment with how they had to do their job. And I think that's the part that's really shifting now, that we're recognizing that there are many ways of approaching leadership, and that leadership isn't just about a title that you've earned. It's also really about how all of us live our life as leaders and role models. And part of where I see that change too is that the style of leadership that most women really naturally bring to the table is really focused more on collaboration and really ensuring that everyone in the group is participating and the value that each individual in their group can bring, that their unique value to that conversation and to the work that needs to be done. And I think that's a big place where we're seeing that shift, and getting away from that old model of competition and that everything is a winner or a loser, and really focusing more on the idea, how do we create situations that where there is a win-win or a win-win-win or a win-win-win-win, like how do we find solutions that actually work for everyone involved, rather than looking for a way to beat somebody else out of something.
Yeah.
And so that's where I see a lot of the big shifts.
Ah, well, do you have any special takeaways from those two books that you can recall?
Well, there was so many amazing stories, and I know one of the women, the business that she had started with her husband was big machinery, paving roads, and at one point, of course, I think she's about 5'2". And so, of course, most of the guys on these crews would not expect her to like step into the job. And at one point, they got this new piece of machinery that was, a very, very big paving machine. And the new group that delivered it, they're like, okay, who's going to drive this thing? And they hadn't actually trained anyone yet because they hadn't, it was a new thing, a brand new kind of machine.
Yeah.
And so she jumped right in and she's like, okay, I'll take that on. I will be the driver of that machine. And she hopped up there and learned how to use that and became, and just the way that she manages people and works with those guys, they stepped right into it as, yes, she's the one doing that. She is our leader. She is, and so especially in a work environment like that, where it could have been so easy for either her to back down and think, okay, well, that's not the kind of thing I can do, or for the guys that she works with to not accept her in that role. Yeah. But her approach and how she was able to work with them, it just became, everybody went along with it, and this was the way it was going to happen. And yeah, it sounds like once she got up there and really learned how to do it, she was loving it up there and driving down the road with this thing. And she said one time she drove by this older woman at the side of the road, and she was all excited and yeah.
Yeah. I remember I studied opera in Italy for several weeks, and my partner and I would go out running. And I regularly received applause from the elderly Italian ladies going, "Brava, brava, brava."
That's right, cheering you on.
Yeah. Oh, that's fun. Yeah, that must have been fun to sit up there on that big machine and wow.
Yeah.
I mean, sounds like something interesting to learn how to do, and yeah. Wow. Do you have any more stories that come to mind?
Let's see. Well, definitely, stories in the Women in STEM book. A lot of the stories are started in that frustration of being in those male-dominated industries where, even though women were educated the same way, they were completely qualified and skilled at doing those jobs, and yet those women were still facing that discrimination of not being paid the same as a guy that's doing the exact same job, and going into a new workplace and being asked to go get the coffee, and things like that, and how these women were able to really hold their own and hold on to that leadership and make it clear that they were qualified as well as anyone else, and that they weren't going to put up with some of those the back talk or the stories or just the way that they're often treated, and I would say things have gotten better over the last 20 years, but there's still a lot of room for improvement. That's for sure.
Yeah. So, do you have any advice for women who want to step into leadership roles?
Yes. Yeah, I'd say a few of my kind of words of wisdom around that. Part of it, for me, what's really critical is finding a community of supportive people. So whether it is other men on the work site that might be supportive, or whether it's just finding a community of other women who are going through similar things or are there to let you vent and learn and discuss what's going on, what solutions could be. And to me, community has really been, I would say, I would not have found success in my current entrepreneurial world if I didn't have a community of women around me who are both helping me learn what's next, but also just letting me supporting me as I go through these stages of learning and growing and challenging myself. And
Yeah.
because doing that kind of thing alone, it definitely makes it much more challenging.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Several, yeah. I think mentorship is really important.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. And I've done some mentoring. I've had people mentor me. It was, it's really helpful. Really helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think on the other side of that too, for the women who are already in those positions of leadership, to think about who's coming up behind me that I can give a hand to. Whose name can I put into a circle that would benefit her in her journey, and who can I look back to? Then, like you say, like being a mentor is really important to have that structure. But even outside of that really structured relationship as a mentor, just in general, who are those women coming up behind you that could really use your advice, your support, your words of wisdom, and actively think about that. Who are those people and how can I help?
Yeah. Oh, wow. Fantastic advice. Ah. And I've always found it a good feeling to mentor or help people. It leaves me with a nice warm feeling that I've helped someone else.
Oh, I love that.
So tell us about, you've got some upcoming projects that you're looking for female writers for, is that correct?
Yeah, so most of my books are completely made up of women, and then I have a couple books where there's men and women involved. And so a couple of the books that I'm working on right now, one is called Rooted in Resilience, and so that will be 20 women from around the world, each sharing both how resilience has played a role in their life, but also sharing words of wisdom that would help other women become more resilient. And another one is called Midlife Reignited.
Oh.
And so in that one, women are really sharing how they have changed their life, how, they stepped away from that old model of, our culture always tells us, after the age of 50, we're old and obsolete and should just go sit in the corner. And most of us aren't putting up with that anymore. And
Nope.
so I think the more we share those stories and the more we allow each other to see those that are stepping into other things, that are creating a new life, that are really stepping into things that they're passionate about, that they feel is their purpose and their calling. And so to me, that's one of the big things, really, because there are so many midlife women who are just feeling stuck in life right now.
Yeah.
Not sure what they're allowed to do next, what they want to do next. They haven't given themselves to think about that permission to even think about what they want, because they've looked after everybody else for so long.
Yeah.
So that's what this one's really about, women sharing their stories of how they have stepped into that, and really with that idea of inspiring other women to do the same.
Wow, very nice. And how do they get a hold of you if they're interested?
Yes. So as far as social media goes, LinkedIn is the best place to find me.
Okay.
Other spots I'm there, but I'm not really active. So LinkedIn is my favorite place to hang out.
Okay.
And my website is inspiredtenacity.com. And on there you'll find a spot, gifts for you, that you can get free PDF downloads of several of my books. And you'll also see the list of my current projects, and also links to purchase my previous books if you're interested.
Okay, great. So you like people to connect with you on LinkedIn?
That's the best place to find me. Yes.
Okay, fantastic. So, any more wise words for our listeners at all?
Sure.
Yeah.
I have one of my favorite quotes that I always love to share. It's a Howard Thurman quote. And he says, "Don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive, and go do that. because what the world needs is more people who have come alive. So that's what I always love us to focus on. What makes you come alive?
Yeah,
And go do
wow. Wow, that is a fantastic quote. I think that's one of the best ones I've heard in a long time.
Perfect. Write that one down.
Wow. So cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. This was really an amazing conversation and so much great information for my female listeners out there.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for having me. It's been fun.
My pleasure.